So the computer doesn't understand if x is this, z is this, or y is this. So you have to specify at least 2 in order for the computer to understand. I mean, in this case, like the number of arguments -1. This is the least number of arguments that you have to specify. Usually it's better to just specify the names so that you just avoid any mistakes during the programming. Now back to the slides. Example 7. I will skip this example, but it actually basically shows the same thing. So if you want to check it out, please feel free. Now let's talk about a little bit more about functions. So functions are a first-class object. So functions basically can be used as any other data type. For example, arguments to functions, return values of functions, assigned to variables, part of tuples, lists, etc. During the few other previous examples, we have shown that we can assign a function value to a variable, but that only when it has a return statement. If it doesn't, then it will automatically return a non-value. Now we have other examples for that. For example, here we have a square variable, a square function that takes x as input and returns x multiplied by x, which is the square of x. And then we have another function, add function. It takes x as input and returns x plus x. Now we have applier, a function called applier-1. It takes q as input and x, and return qx. So here we're telling the computer that q is supposed to be a function. So if we, for example, if we put a value inside, then it will return an error. Now that's what this function is thinking. This q is a function. Def applier to x returns square x. So here we're using square as a variable. So here we're just giving one single input, and we're using another function that was defined before, and we're using that to return x. So basically this is just, this function is doing nothing, it's just calling another function. And that's fine, we could do whatever we want, even though it's not efficient sometimes, but it's still okay to do it. So here's, let me open example 8. So as you can see here, the same thing, add function, square function. We have applier 1, applier 2, and then we call applier 1 with the square and 7. And we call add and 7, and then we have applier 2 and 7. So let's run this. As you can see, 49. That's 7 multiplied by 7 is 49, and then 14, which is 7 plus 7, so 14, and then we have 7 multiplied by 7, 49.